Hello, welcome, sports fans, to another episode of the Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. Today, I'm going to continue on the very tragic news from last night, and then I will also be giving you all NBA scores. Then I'm going to be talking about the new developments in the Deshaun Watson case there. Um, I just want to say that we're getting closer and closer to the NFL draft. I'm getting excited. The draft is one of my favorite sports events of the year. I know like a lot of people don't watch it. They're like boring. But man, if you're a diehard to your team, you really wanna you watch it to see if they really get what the team needs, or are they just or you're just hoping they don't screw the pooch. Now, back to what we was talking about last night, the tragedy in South Carolina. The ex NFL player Adams, the defensive back, who killed 5 people, including the doctor there and then himself. I made a heated video. I know I was cussing a lot. I was so upset and frustrated by it, and I still am. And if people don't understand by what I was saying with the Philip Adams situation, the reason why I say there needs to be stricter gun laws and that the government needs to step in and do their damn job and stop hiding behind money and politics and stuff like that, and their parties. That's why I hate politics. That's why I want politics not to be on here. Now, the only reason why we are talking about that, because I said in basically a lot of my episodes, we aren't going to talk about two things here. We ain't going to be having no race conversation, because I just believe in equality. I don't care what you believe in, but you're not going to change me on that. And then politics. Now, I'm not going to be talking about, we ain't talking about no election or nothing like that, but I have no choice in this matter but to attack politicians and talk about politics on this. I hate to do it, but I got to do it. And it's because I want to better America and better our country. And because I'm extremely worried for the safety of children and men and women all over this wonderful country of ours. Uh, for over a decade, there has been mass shootings, and with little to no restrictions on the gun laws. Look, you can throw out the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, y'all. I'm not saying you ain't got the right to bear arms. But maybe, we can make it in plainest terms. You have the right to bear arms. That I think that whenever the Constitution was made, it's more nonetheless if you're being invaded, or like if somebody's breaking into your home. I get all that. Or if a country's invading you, the civilians have the right to bear their arms too and fight. That's typically what it's for. Base 99% of it. It's not for these criminals and people who have CTE and brain damage and can't function right, and disabilities that have these guns and sometimes don't even know what the hell they're even doing. And then whenever they do, and they come to, they killed so many people, then they just off themselves. Because they can't take what they done. It's, look, Aaron Hernandez, New England Patriots, tight end. He killed a friend of his. Lo and behold, after committed suicide in prison, what happened, everybody? He was found with CTE. I am highly curious because I really, truly believe that if they test him and check his brain, Philip Adams will also have stages of CTE. I guarantee it. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm just taking a guess. A lot of these NFL and football players have CTE. And they get a lot of concussions and all this stuff. You see a lot of players in concussion protocol and da-da-da-da, yada, yada, yada. And knocked out of it. And brutal hits. Let's not forget brutal hits. They just go on about their day. Well, after you take hits after hits after hits after hits, and you shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, a lot of those plays, a lot of those games, they're just shaking it off. When really they're not all there as normal. And they do that in a lot of games. Yeah, there's some games where they're like, oh, we can tell you're concussed. And you're out. But don't think that some of these players got away with staying in the game whenever they probably shouldn't have. And if you do that several games, guess what? That's gonna fuck your brain up. That's gonna mess with the way you think. I would be a whole lot more cautious. Yes, all of us hate how the NFL looks today. But is it safer? Yes. Yeah, it's just safer. I just need the politicians, Republican and Democrats, fuck whose house you belong to. I'm the Democratic Party. No, I'm the Republican Party. How about come together and say, fuck our parties for right now. We're just normal people. Let's all come together and talk. We have to come up with a solution for gun control. I know we're making a shit ton of money, which they are. They're making a shit ton of money. And I forget what the gun organization. I forgot it yesterday too. I said NAACP or something yesterday on my last night in my video. I don't think that's who it is. I'm trying to remember who the. I look stupid right now. But really hit them hard. Laws can be changed if necessary. And Washington and the government and everybody needs to step in, and they need to change this shit now. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting extremely dangerous. And it's causing too many innocent lives here in this country. Kids are being killed. If I'm not mistaken, in this shooting last night, yeah, kids were killed. A 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. Just saying. If somebody's got a history of mental health or brain damage or CTE or lose certain functions, they shouldn't have guns. They're not allowed to have guns. Make restrictions and make laws. Hello. Hello, people in Washington. Will you please get your hand out of your ass and start using it? That's kind of how I feel. I have to talk, their language because they're fucking retarded. That's how they're fucking retarded. Two kids. Two extremely young kids killed. A 70-year-old doctor. His wife is 69. A 9-year-old, a 5-year-old. He kills himself. This is just stupid. And like I said, I guarantee you he's got some kind of history with brain damage or CTE or something from playing in the NFL. I need more checkups. If you play, there needs to be checkups. There needs to be like something that gets people checked. And if they have certain issues, they're not allowed to legally have a gun. Put them in the category of felons. Felons can't have guns. There's a reason for it. But also, people that have these issues, that play these sports and stuff like that, it also makes them prone to violence without them even being aware of it. And they get short-tempered. So you might as well put them in the same category. They're not felons if they haven't done nothing wrong illegally, but mentally, they could easily snap. And that's not easily snapping, not knowing what you're doing, plus a gun equals what? Duh. A bad situation. So we need to get laws out there right now. I'm not playing. Senators, governors, mayors, Congress, president, vice president, everybody. Get involved. Change the law. Get your heads out of your asses. And actually do some good for this fucking country. Instead of doing what makes you all wealthy, first and foremost, over the citizens of your country. Because we, believe it or not, you should do what's best for your citizens because we put you in the fucking seats that you're in. We voted for you. People voted for you to put you in the position for you to be making this fucking money. Now, I ain't playing around. This shit needs to stop or something seriously needs to happen. This is just how I feel. I'm putting my emotions out there. I don't want no violence, but if this shit keeps happening and Congress keeps sticking their thumb up their ass and all these politicians and not getting anything fucking accomplished and doing anything about this shit, then guess what? They need to march Capitol Hill again. They need to do it. March on that shit. Protest on that bitch. Make it known. But this time, people, do it in a positive, legal way. Because you have the right to protest, but you have to do it right. Don't assault and attack people. Don't break in and fucking shoot people and shit like that. And plan to kidnap and all this stuff. That's stupid. But we need hundreds and millions, hundreds of thousands and millions of people all like fill fucking Washington, period. The streets where people can't drive, I want it to be bigger than anything you've ever seen. I want it to be fucking huge. And then they'll have to do something. because something's got to change with this shit. Something has to. Also, in other news, the court grants Waston's lawyer hearings over identifications of the other two of them already came out. They already know who they are because they did a press conference a couple of days ago. But the other 20, they will have to. They're not going to be anonymous anymore. They have to say who they are and this and that and everything. So, Deshaun Watson was granted emergency hearings over women's IDs. Let's see. Attorney Rusty Harding filed motions Thursday for emergency hearings on all the civil lawsuits against Watson, asking a judge to rule that lawyer Tony Busby has to identify all the women who filed. 2 motions were granted by Harris County District Court, with hearings scheduled for Friday at 8:45 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Of the 22 civil lawsuits against Watson alleging inappropriate behavior and sexual assault, only 2 women have been publicly identified. The first motion filed Thursday pertained to lawsuit 2021 15937, which was filed March 18th. Because these lawsuits were filed individually, Hardin needed to file a motion for each of the lawsuits filed. Watson has denied all the allegations in the lawsuits. When we asked Mr. Busby to identify his clients weeks ago, he refused and told us to file a motion, Hardin said in a statement. Today we filed that motion. As discussed in our filing, Mr. Busby's use of anonymous lawsuits violates Texas law and the basic concept of fairness. That is correct. That's 100,000% true. That's why I said we have to try to stay neutral, because even though a lot of this stuff really does make Watson look bad, he also hasn't. They've just been able to attack for a month on him, and he don't even know who they are, so he can't even rebuttal. And it's dug him in such a hole that he's got to find a way to recover from. And it's awful. So even though people have their opinions, I also have my opinion. But it has to be a fair shake for both parties. That's all there is to it. It has to be fair across the board. You can't sue somebody anonymously. What the fuck is that? You know, I already said I do not like Busby, that attorney. I don't know why these women keep going to that dumbass. But because I don't like the way he handles his business. I think he is all about he don't give a fuck about any of them. He's just like big client. He just sees money right now, and he's trying to do everything in his power to find ways to win the money. These women could be wanting something different, but he's playing his games the way he's going to play it, because he ain't fucking worried about them, in all honesty. He's worried about the fucking money. He wants a big payday. I don't fucking like that. Because, to be honest, some of these women, I find it hard not to believe them. I'm not saying that Watson did it, but I find it extremely hard not to believe them. Now, also another news, I told y'all a couple days ago, Nike dropped their sponsorship of Watson. Well, Beats by Dre also halts Watson's sponsorship with Deshaun Watson amidst all these 22 allegations of sexual assault and harassment that he's got against him. Hopefully this thing goes to court sometime soon. This thing needs to go to court, and it's just gotten bad. Like straight up, it's gotten bad. All right, so whenever we later on, like I said, here in about 6 hours, they're gonna be in court for the first time. About 9 hours. So later on, I might have an update on the Deshaun Watson news because they got court at 8:45 this morning today, and then 12. So they go to court twice today for that stuff. So I might be making a video later on, let y'all know what happens with that. Um, Also in the news today, we have NBA scores. My Lakers fall to the Miami Heat, 110 to 104. The Bull. The Bulls beat the Raptors 122-113. The Cavaliers defeat the Thunder 129-122. The Mavericks defeat the Bucks 116-101. The Jazz defeat the Trailblazers 122-103. The Clippers defeat the Suns 113-103. The Pistons beat the Kings 113-101. So really kind of no close games there at the end, really. Except for Lakers and Heat was 6 and there was a 9 and I don't know. Not really. Oof. NBA just seems really down this year. It really is. You don't have a clear MVP candidate this year. All these superstars keep getting injured and taking off. I really hope they stop that bullshit. Because in the olden days, man, the only time you weren't on the court is if you got hurt. Not I'm gonna rest just because I want to. Man, that ain't why people pay you fucking $30-20 million a fucking year to fucking pick and choose when you want to play. I really hope they fix that because fucking NBA's bullshit. That rule, that man, seriously, and stop with the we'll fine you $10 or $15 or $20,000 if you skip a game. Man, that's chump change. Make it something big. Make it $100,000. Seriously, make it a fucking $100,000. And then if they do it twice, make it worse. Make it $250,000. And then the third time, double it from there, $500,000. Fourth time, I hit them really hard. I'd be like, okay, if you're one of the big name players, let's see you're making $40 million. You just got a $3 million fine. You got to find a way to stop that shit because you didn't see Jordan, you didn't see Bird and Magic, Kareem, Wilt, all them guys back from like the early 2000s all the way back. Kobe. You didn't see all these motherfuckers unless they were hurt taking games off. It's ridiculous now, and yet we want to call one of the players that's done it. I mean, you ain't gonna bullshit at me. First year that he was with the Lakers, man, he sat out weeks extra, if not months, when he could have played with the Lakers. They actually were in play like in the top 4 or 5 seed, and they would have went in the playoffs, but he's like, oh, I'm not gonna stop my run. He just didn't feel like it. And that's Queen James I'm talking about. You can't call somebody the GOAT whenever they seriously. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That first year in LA, yeah, he may have got hurt, but he wasn't that hurt where he missed that much time. No fucking way. He took off. And you can't call somebody like that a fucking GOAT. he ain't better than Jordan, and that's one of the stats that I would use against him that makes him clearly not the GOAT. Because if you can play, you don't bail on your teammates, and he did. He fucking did. Now, it's getting interesting. I'm gonna give you all the rankings. I know we're getting closer to. We got about a month and a half of the playoffs. Till the playoffs, I think about a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, I know we missed some games there, or like a month. So I'm gonna update you all on the current standings. In the East, Brooklyn Nets are the 1 seed, 36-16. Followed very closely by the 76ers at 35-16. They're a half game back. Then the third seed is the Milwaukee Bucks, 32-19, 3.5 back. Fourth seed is the Charlotte Hornets, 26-24, 9 games back. The fifth seed is the Atlanta Hawks, 27-25, 9 games back. Miami Heat is the sixth seed at 27-25, 9 games back. The Boston Celtics are 26-26, 10 games back in the seventh seed. The eighth seed is the New York Knicks, the resurging New York Knicks at 25-27. I know they're 2 games under 500, but they are a hell of a better team than they have been for many, many years. They are 11 games back. Now, in the Western Conference, the 1 seed is the Utah Jazz, 39-13, followed by the Phoenix Suns, 36-15, 2.5 back. Then the Clippers are 35-18, 4.5 back. The Denver Nuggets are 33-18, 5.5 back. The Los Angeles Lakers, my team, are the 5th seed at 32-20, 7 games back. The Trailblazers are 30-21, 8.5 back. The Mavericks are 29-22, 9.5 back. The Grizzlies are 26-23, 11.5 back. So that's where the current standings are in the East and Western Conference in the NBA. I would, to be real honest, I mean, you got realistically to me, I think in the East, there's still only like 2 teams, in my opinion, that have a chance to sneak up into that 8th spot. And that would be Toronto. They're in the 11th place right now. They're 5 games behind the Knicks. 11th. But they do have talent on that team. So that is a team that could rise up. And the Pacers are 1 game back behind the Knicks. They could get up there too. But they have they have some talent. They have talent on their team as well. And some of these teams have just been hurt with the injury bug. Now in the Western Conference, I think it is as follows. If you're going to tell me that the Spurs are going to sneak up on the Grizzlies, I don't think so. They're only 2 games back, but the Spurs are dog crap, and they also got rid of LaMarcus Aldridge. So their team actually got worse, and they know it after the trade deadline. And the Warriors give up. I keep seeing 30 and 50-point losses and 40-point losses. They don't even deserve to be one of the first 8 seeds. They don't fucking deserve it. They don't. They're straight garbage. They are straight garbage right now. Yes, Curry's still good. Draymond, I trade his ass. And they miss Klay Thompson. But keep playing hard. this is wait for hopefully Klay Thompson does nothing but work out. Don't be trying to force yourself to get on the court too soon. And maybe next year he'll come back. Let James Wiseman play all year long. Get him used to the NBA, and next year go to state. To me, would be another top 4, 5, 6 seed in the Western Conference. Like, I just don't see anybody else sneaking up. So, yeah, the West. I think the top 8 are the top 8. They're gonna stay that way. Now the seedings will change probably. More than likely, the seedings will change. But those 8 teams are gonna be the 8 teams in. I wholeheartedly believe it. And in the East, I think it's a 10-team race. Or yeah, you have the top 8, and then maybe Toronto can sneak up there. And then, but they gotta finish really strong because they're 4 games back behind the 8th seed in 11th place in the East. I'm gonna skip the 10th seed Bulls because I don't believe in them. And then right behind them, the Pacers, they could sneak in there as well. But yeah. So that's where we stand on that as of right now. Also, Justin Fields gets second pro day. 49ers expected to attend, which that's cool. I mean, I think he's overrated, to be honest. He doesn't know how to get past his first read. He's gonna be dog shit in the NFL. That's all there is to it. Uh Panthers had secondary help. Um so they had a free agent. Boye. They signed him. Nat, that's kind of the news for the day. I will be on later on to give an update on what happens with the court situation in the Watson case today, but they got 2 separate times. Other than that, just everybody stay safe, and appreciate y'all watching the videos. Please subscribe and please spread the word, especially my friends and stuff. Please help me out with the channel. Hit the notification bell. It just really helps me out a lot, and it helps out the YouTube algorithm. The more people watch this, the more my name will pop up in the search bar. There's just a lot of things to this. I really need some help on this, guys. I truly do. I ain't got the money where all these channels can do all the fancy stuff. I got to do it just this way. So please just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also check me out on Facebook at Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. Also, check me out on Twitter, Rocky Sports Talk Sheet, and you can follow me on there. You can follow me on both of those. And thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, peace out, everybody.